Okay, so I was gonna do a full decode of this movie, Insidious 3. Um, the the problem is that the quality of this is so bad that some of the things that I want to talk about you can't really see. So I might mention them, and maybe eventually, if there's a better copy, then I'll do another one. But there's just a couple things I really wanted to put out because I don't know. I don't know if it's predictive programming or not, but it definitely seems like it. So, anyway, the basic story of this whole movie is that this girl, her mom died, and so she tries to conjure her mom up, and she couldn't do it. Um, but she's noticing like a few little noises and whatnot. So she goes to Elise, who is the psychic lady in the first two movies, and this is a prequel to the other movies. So, but basically, she goes there to see if she can help her to find her contact her mother. And then basically, what ends up happening is that she conjures up something that's not her mother. It's a demon or a ghost or whatever, and so it attacks her and makes her get hit by a car, and then it steals half of her soul, and then it wants the other half, so it keeps coming after her, and then eventually Elise goes into the underworld. If you've seen the other ones, to save the other half of her soul and get her back or whatever. So interesting. Her mom's name was Lily or the Lilith Brenner, and so yeah, Lily. And Lilith or Lily was actually identical to the Sumerian Inanna and the Babylonian Ishtar, called Lilith, and she is the owl goddess. I also seen some things where supposedly she was the first woman in the Garden of Eden, and then got banished because she wouldn't lay underneath Adam or something. I didn't really look that much into it. I really probably should, but just kind of interesting. She's the owl goddess, and then in the very beginning of the show, in a few more minutes here, and I'll show you. So she goes home after meeting with that lady, and she wakes up the next day, and she goes into the kitchen, and go figure, right here, you can't see it like I'm talking about, but there's an owl statue or an owl ornament right on the wall in the kitchen. And like I said, this whole movie is based on her trying to contact her mom, Lilith. So basically, she's practicing her lines because she's going to graduate and wants to go to this acting school, and she has an audition soon, um, later this day or whatever. And she goes and does it, and then she does really bad or whatever, and she's sitting on the curb with her friend, and this whole movie is basically, I think it's kind of subliminal to Cain and Abel. I know, and she's a girl, but it's just really weird what they say in this next scene. Um, they talk about how in a few months they're going to leave their dad, and they're going to enter into a new reality. And um, then she also says something about her. She wants to move on, but instead her dad makes her. Her dad wants her to be her, take care of her brother or whatever, which is like the Genesis 4:9, like, "Am I my brother's keeper?" So I'm just gonna show the clip of it, and then I'll maybe leave a little few footnotes or whatever.
I won't ever forget this. You will go to the end of the world, and you will find me waiting there. The servant.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not the same again.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. You want to take a break and come back a little bit? I hate him. And I don't even pretend anything like really love you. I'm just mad at you actually, literally hate him.
Say the word literally, but when you're being literal.
Shut up. I have to live with this.
Look, we have a few months of parental guidance that delivers reality we're currently living in. It's done. That's what's so great about it. We pick a college on the opposite coast, it becomes a weekly phone call. That turns into a monthly phone call when you need money. It's like it's not your dad anymore, it's just a bank kiss on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I'm not going anywhere, Maggie. I botched the audition to the one school I wanted to go to. I don't have a backup plan. It's over.
Lord, you were so born to be an actress, Brenna.
I'm so bored. I'm left me here, raising my brother.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be okay.
Everybody always says that.
Let's be friends.
So I just wanted to point out that this movie came out on June 5th of 2015. So a couple months when they'll enter into a new reality, or we'll enter a new reality, would be August 5th, one day after Obama's 54th birthday. And that just kind of interests me considering I just talked about in the last video, and I'm going to elaborate a little more, I think, about the day before. So the day before, 2 months away from this would be August 5th, and the day before would be August 4th, 84. Really significant day. So anyway, then the psychic lady wakes up out of her sleep, and she gets out her book, and she ends up writing the main character's name in it, Quinn Brenner. But, and you can't see it on here, but the very front cover of the book is a pyramid with the all-seeing eye. Before I get too far, I almost forgot to talk about this. So Genesis 4. And in Genesis 4:8 is when Cain kills Abel. In Genesis 4:9, it says, "And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?" So just like how she has to stay and take care of her brother. But anyway, it's 4:9, which is 49. And 49, we've talked about it before, is 49 equals revelation. So, just kind of interesting that if 49 is revelation and Genesis is the beginning, it's kind of like Genesis 4:9 is kind of like Genesis, the beginning and the end. Also thought it was kind of weird that 67 also adds up to revelation. And if you go to Genesis 6:7, it is when God destroyed everything, basically. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing and the fowls of the air. So, but he, then in the 8, he found grace in Noah. So just kind of interesting that it's 67, and then Genesis 6:7 is basically about the end also, or revelation. And really weird thing, I was just going to go back and reference a few videos that I had seen about this, about the Revelation 4:9, and I got on YouTube, and my homepage or whatever, the first thing that popped up was this video right here, which this was 10 months ago, and all these other ones are like 4 years, 1 year, 5 years, 2 years. Interesting though that I'm going to look up about Cain and Abel, and this video right there was on my feed. Now, that's strange because this video talks about exactly what I just talked about a little bit. So, weird. And then right here you find out this guy's wife died, and she was like basically predicting the future of what's going to happen to that girl. Or she's telling him she could see the spirit. But he says they were together for 52 years. So we've talked about that tons. Then you can't see this part either, but she goes to sleep and wakes up, and the ghost has moved her into the hallway, and he pulls her down and he throws her into room 514. And 514 is interesting. Rita 511 talked about it a whole bunch. I can't remember all the details, but basically 514 is May 14th, but when you convert it to the Julian calendar, it's actually May 27th. And that is the same day that the Golden Gate Bridge opened up. And honestly, I don't think anything's going to happen to in San Francisco or the Golden Gate Bridge. It's just too obvious. They've been pointing it out way too much. But I think maybe they're coding it with something else. Like maybe they're going to kill Pope Francis or something like that. But I don't think they're going to have an earthquake like San Andreas or anything like that. It's just it would just be too obvious, but maybe that's why they're doing it too. I don't really know, but just my opinion, I guess. So then towards the end, they call in these ghost hunter guys from the other movies, and they're just starting off. But he's talking to him, and this guy's wearing an earpiece, and he doesn't know it. And he answers him with probably 5, maybe 4, so 54. And then you find out he's using the earpiece, and it's just kind of a stupid little joke. Well, I mean, they put that in there, a 5-4, 54 for love. And this is how I know they're talking about San Francisco again. Elise talks about how she wants to quit and not be the psychic anymore and all that. And then her friend tells her, no, look how you saved this boy or whatever. And they show this picture of the kid wearing the San Francisco Giants jersey. So just another reference they make to San Francisco. And I know there was a few more, but like I said, the quality is just so bad I can't even see what I seen when I went and watched it in the theater. But another thing I just noticed was Golden Gate Bridge was actually built or opened 78 years ago, and 78 is so 1926, and then 26 years later is 52, and then 26 years after that is 1978. So interesting that it's 78 years ago, I guess. And I'm going to end it on this here. So when I was looking for movies to go see that night, I noticed that a movie that's coming out in the theater, it said movies upcoming on the AMC website, and it had this movie Pixels. And I'll show you in a second, but just want to, before I go there, look. So this movie, the star's name is Quinn Brenner, and then they're looking for her mom, who is Lilith Brenner. So interesting. But then that movie Pixels, and look at the cover of it. Pac-Man eating the Golden Gate Bridge. So just another reason why, if anything happens, I don't think it's going to happen until a while. I mean, because this movie comes out on, let's see, June 2nd. This movie comes out on July 24th. Wow, on Mirror of 49. But I don't know. It'll happen after this movie, obviously, but it's just too obvious, I guess. But what's interesting is look at Adam Sandler. He's the main character. And look what his name is, Sam Brenner. So what is it about this name? That's kind of weird, too. This movie also, I noticed during the NBA Finals, they've been showing this movie like every commercial. So I don't know. Just weird. I never even heard of this movie until I went and watched Insidious. And then now the NBA Finals, literally, I mean, watch it. Watch the commercials. This is on like almost every commercial they have this movie. So, and Adam Sandler was born on September 9th, 1966. So he will be 49 years old this year, too. And I don't know. I was thinking of the word Brenner, so the only thing I can think of is Yul Brenner. And I don't know. I need to do more research into this. Just wanted to point it out really quick. It says his first movie was Port of New York, and it came out in 1949. And there was also a movie in 76 called Future World. I know I talked about this before. I didn't go that in depth with it. Maybe I need to now. Who knows? Just found that kind of interesting. Return of the Seven was a movie from 49 years ago. Triple Cross. And I've talked about the cross a lot. The cross being the Antichrist in time. So who knows? Just wanted to point that out. I'm going to end it there. Have a great night.